So now we're working on the lower face of Sylvia. You could see that the upper face is being treated on the mid face with Radius Plus, but we still have a little bit of problem with jowling. And I always said if the patient is jowling, first you need to treat the mid face and then you go to the lower face. Because by treating the mid face on the zygomatic arch, whatever you do here indirectly will affect what's going on the lower face. Whatever you do here will also efface the nasolabial fold, and it also will help the area of the teardrop. So you never ever work on the lower face if the mid face is not up to par. So we already solved the problem, the descent of the mid face. We're using Radius Plus, which is a power lifter, and now we're gonna do the lower face. Now, doing the lower face is very important. There's different techniques that you can do. I like actually doing combination of the two. Why? Because Radius not only is a great power lifter and a great product for contouring, and whenever you want to contour, you really need to be working on the periosteum in order to get excellent results. That said, Radia is a hybrid between a gel and a biocollagen stimulator, and it will definitely improve the elasticity of the skin. So when I work on the lower face, I will go supraperiosteum first, trying to help the architecture of the periosteum, trying to mimic it, and then I will go on the dermis. Now you saw here that I put this U shape. This U shape deformity, what the patient thinks is a jowl. When you work on the dermis, it's very important to use this that the patient sees as a jowl as your point of reference. And then you basically will use cannula. Whenever you want to use Radius intradermal, please use cannula because it's the safest thing to do. So the way we'll do is I either enter here and trying to level the plane. That's one way to do it. Same thing, enter here with a cannula and level the plane. Or easier way could be where the U is, you start here with your cannula and you level the plane going that way. Two different ways to achieve the same result. But the first thing we want to see in a moment will be the supraperiosteum technique. This technique is really easy. Things to take into consideration is please stay supraperiosteum, go perpendicular to the bone. You can feel this notch, remember where the facial artery will come, or you can tell the patient to bite down for me. And then you feel the edge of the masseter muscle 1 centimeter in front of it. It will be where the facial artery goes and intends to cross and then later turn into the angular artery. Meaning that know those landmarks and make sure that you do not enter in those areas because that could cause an injury to the patient. So again, really easy. My finger is on the notch, so it's my point of reference. And I'm gonna go supraperiosteum and do little alloquotes of usually 0.1 to 0.2, no more than that. Studies have shown that if you stay with alloquot of 0.1 to 0.2, you tend to stay out of trouble. Whenever you put more than 0.3 cc, that's when patients have post-injection edema, a lot of inflammation, and these things can avoid it by just doing small alloquots. So I did the part on the posterior part of the jaw. Now I'm gonna go right in front. I know where to stay away. So I'm gonna go in here and try to give the support and the contour that the bone gives in this area. As we age, especially on women, this area tends to move inwards, causing the area to lose support, creating the jaw. The jaw comes from different areas. It can come from part of it, can come from the descent of the midface, also can come from accumulation of fat in this area, which is genetics, and also can come from lack of support of the periosteum on that area. So you could see that by lifting the jaw that initially we have looked a lot better, and then now all I'm doing is trying to create support on the periosteum. Always in touch on the periosteum, the safest way to do it when you're doing contouring with Radius Plus. Okay, so that was simple. That's the technique, Depo on the periosteum, trying to get more contour and more support on the bone. It's always, if you're trying to imitate bone, plus work on the bone area. Now what I'm gonna do is save the rest and use a cannula to try to level the plane. You can enter here and try to level the plane by going this way. Same thing, you can enter here with your cannula and trying to level the plane. I think an easier way is just go right in the middle of your U-shaped deformity, put a little numbing, and then we go from there. So what I'm trying to do is just level the plane. So now I'm just trying to increase the volume here intradermal with a cannula. I'm trying to increase the volume there to make sure that is at the same level of what she calls a yaw. Now we're gonna do the same thing but going the other way. And again, you can actually enter here and go from here to there and level the plane. But sometimes this requires less drawing and less effort, making things simple. So now I'm going this way. There you go, the mandibular ligaments, just here apart. I'm just trying to level the plane. This what it's gonna do is really gonna make what she seen earlier as a yaw to be more like a straight line. So creating more support. So we work supraperiosteum and then we work intradermal. Radius is a little bit of an inflammatory product. It's a little bit irritating to the skin, so that it tends to get a little bit swollen, and it's something that we tell the patient. It's not like an HA. Hyaluronic acid tends to be less inflammatory, but with radius, you will see some inflammation. So this is it. This is a good way to contour the face using technique number 2 for radius plus for the mid face, and doing contouring of the lower face by working supraperiosteum and then doing a little bit intradermal to increase the elasticity of the lower face. I think doing both technique is appropriate, and I think you get better results than just do one or the other. Thank you very much.